Give it up for the black man, Blackky. What's good?
Yeah. Caesar, the radio pleaser.
Okay.
Big up yourself.
Yes,
Lad,
man.
it's such an honor. I'm so glad to be here today. You can't imagine the excitement. Big up to all the Classic FM listeners.
Nice.
I've been harassing them on social media that the black man is going to be here, 97.3, you know, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that this is my first radio interview for the year. I've stayed away from interviews for a while, but we want to talk to the people, them.
Nice
yeah,
one. Nice one. Nice one. Big things are going so. Okay. So right now, before that, Bang Belly, we were talking before we came on air.
Right.
Tell him who did that chorus and who did the intro.
Chorus, Wumi. We used to know her as Wumi Aboderi.
Okay.
But now with matrimonial courses, Wumi Obey.
Wow.
You know? And it was so innovative, you know, getting her to, she was so easy to get her to do those parts in the studio because she has the tendency to mimic different kinds of accents and all that.
Yeah.
So we didn't take so long trying to get her to fit into that role and describe that frenzy the man would go through when a lady that you think is just a casual, you had a casual relationship with sexually, is pregnant for you, you know. So she had to portray that anxiety that, look, you this man, I don't know what to do, but I'm pregnant for you. And then the black man had to deny with his entire full chest that he's not among. But yeah, so that was with me there. Big
All right. Let me go back to the beginning. What made you decide to go into music?
Music. Okay, well, my big mad influence was probably when I was in secondary school, when I was in St. Gregory's College. I think my sister's friend brought this tape of Yellow Man live in concert in the 80s.
Okay.
And before then, I was listening to some Dillinger, I was listening to some U-Roy. I was tapping into it with a family friend before that time. But what hit me in the most crucial way was listening to King Yellowman live in concert and doing with all the humor and, over me, them are mad over me. London girls, them are crazy over me. Kingston girl. You know, so that just woke me up. I knew I had love for the arts. Yeah. I knew I was not that interested in academics. But you know, the parents then, my mom was a civil servant, my dad was a dental surgeon, a consultant, and so of course they're not expecting you to say I want to go into music, especially in the 80s. So obviously I was not thinking of that. I didn't know what I wanted to do with life, but definitely I knew it was not going to be a 9 to 5, or it's not likely to be a 9 to 5. But listening to Yellowman and then trying to mimic him from that time and going for every single birthday party of mine or events, I just wanted to sing his songs. That was it for me. Wow. And then I discovered that I had something in me that would develop beyond the mimicking of Yellow to a Blackky. And that's how it all started. And so when I got onto campus, I started doing campus shows, Miss Unilag, and all those, University of Lagos. I mean, when I started doing all those campus shows, I saw the way, and you know how Unilag students those days used to be. I don't know why they're still like that, but their noses used to be in the air. So for them to shout and scream and clap for you on stage in Unilag, if you can please the Unilag crowd, fire burn. So I noticed that there was popularity for me on campus. And so every single event that was taking place, I'll look at the poster, look at the organizer, and go to his room and say, look, I want to be on this. That's how I started pushing myself. So before I even submitted my tape to Polygram and a couple of other record companies, the A&R of Polygram said, my daughter knows of you.
Wow.
Because I've been listening to you. She has heard about you on campus.
Wow.
And they said, well, we can't sign you because we don't understand the kind of sound you're playing. It's a bit too modern. It's a bit too... Then they were used to my big brothers, Ras Kimono, Majek Fashek, and that was the root cultural, conscious kind of reggae. So I was bringing this fusion. They said, look, they don't know why they can take that risk. That, look, my black man, you have to go to Lekki Sunsplash Talent Contest. If you win, then we will sign you and we'll give you your record contract. That is how I had to go and test myself with bands like artists like Emphasis and a whole lot of others. 10 of us. I was the last contestant, if I remember correctly. We went to the Lekki Sunsplash concert that took place at Lekki. That was the biggest we had. And it was Polygram Records and Lekki DP. Big up to Dakpo Adelagon. They partnered together to come up with that. So with every Lekki Sunsplash concert, they'll bring up the Lekki Sunsplash concert. They'll bring the biggest artists. And then they create the ones for the talents. And 10 of us came up there. And we had to prove ourselves. And I won. So then that got me a trophy, and they got me a record contract with Polygram Records, now known as Premier Music. So I now became the first artist to be released on Premier Music in 1991.
Oh, wow.
So that's how it all started. So I started when Premier was launching its brand, because Polygram left before I could put out my first record. So Polygram, Premier took control of what was left of Polygram, and then used me as the selling point for the first music and the first record to come out on the Premier Music imprint.
Okay.
You know, so it was a little bit of a struggle to get people to understand and reason and enjoy my music. It wasn't a straightforward thing, because I was trying to prove things that had never been done before. You're looking at a graduate coming from University of Lagos, and they've told me, look, before you can even become an artist or become popular, you must have gone to several bands, and you'd have worked as a backup artist, and then you grow. And I said, no, I'm not going to, I'm not here to do backup. I'm here to DJ.
Yeah.
And DJ was my kind of, I wanted to DJ, I wanted to rhyme, I wanted to make sense, I wanted to teach people the way to go and to flow musically, and show Nigerians that, look, we can actually enjoy Nigerian music without listening to the foreign ones. So I had to put myself in a way that I wouldn't put you off. At the same time, I draw you into my sound, and then you can start. So I hear a lot of people telling me that their first Nigerian cassette or their first Nigerian record was a Blackky, because it's when they could relate with the kind of sound that I was playing. You know, so it took all of that struggle. And the driving force for the music, for me to go into music, was discovering my talent and then people acknowledging it. And I knew that I was going to take that journey musically.
So if you're looking at one of the first people to begin this thing of fusing Nigerian music with the foreign, it was Blackky, amongst the first people.
Very likely.
So
yes.
Take us through your creative process.
You know, now that we're talking about it when we're off air, nowadays, you just tell DJ, create a beat for me. To create a beat. I still don't know how to work that way. And that's why it takes so long for my records to come out. I mean, create a beat. Look, music has the soul.
Exactly.
And then it has the outer part, the body.
Yeah.
Now, most of the music we're hearing now just has the outer part.
There's no soul in
yes,
it.
and that's number one. Number two, the artists themselves. Now, if you listen to a sound on radio, you're thinking of, you want to dance, you want to go to the party, you want to do all the juvenile things you want to do while listening to that music, right? But you don't really care for who the artist is.
True.
Then we worked on Premier Music, built the artist's personality. So that's why I can come on radio now, because my name was built so heavily. Then I used to be known as Blackky the Master Toaster.
Okay.
Raskimono used to be known as Raskimono the Rubber Dub Master.
Yeah.
So, you know, you actually had a personal love for the artist before the music. So they were married together. Now we just put the music. You're not even sure who the artist is. You don't care who the artist is. So long as you can dance for 3 months and enjoy it, it's a short joint. You do that and that's it. So my creative process is deeper. I usually have to write. I've got to feel. Unfortunately for me, I don't use drugs. I say unfortunately. And I use that very respectfully.
It seems to be the norm now.
Yes. You have to, and that's another thing I have to talk to my younger and my junior colleagues about. You can't be taking drugs. You know, because I wouldn't be here before you. Still having a sense of time, a sense of discipline, a sense of purpose, if I were using any of those things like cigarettes, drinking moderately.
Yes.
Lifestyle, drugs. I don't know what they're doing these days. I mean, all the names starting with C and all those ones. You know, so that's a part of the lifestyle of the music I'm hearing from the youths now. So I don't do any of that. So it's harder to get the inspiration to write. But I write what I feel. So I first write my lyrics. I build the sound. I know what the bass line is. I know what the drum pattern is. So when I'm in the studio, I'm already telling the producer exactly what I want to hear. What I saw and I heard at the mountaintop is what I want to hear when we're in the studio, because some of these beats, the beat, the snare, the tone of the snare, the bass line, the rhythm accompaniment, so everything must flow.
Create the music.
Oh yes, the music. Before I go into the studio.
Wow.
So sometimes I've already done the instrumentation and I play it for the producer. Then he builds on it, gives me the kind of right tones I want. We figure out arrangements. We can flip one to here, but the lyrics are already written from the intro to the chorus to the bridge to the fade, the coda. I have an idea of where everything fits. So what you're doing with me is just to give me the best of what I want to hear and the technical sound. That's the way I still prefer to write. So when you listen to my music, you are drawn not only to the lyrics, you're also drawn to the soul of the music.
Exactly.
And that's what we're missing a lot now these days. But that's still my creative process. And that's why my last record was released in 2006. So it's a while.
Oh, okay.
And so we're working on the new material now.
Okay.
But that's the process. And that's why it takes so long to put out the Blackky. And in the kind of industry we're in now, the attention span is very short.
Exactly.
People are only interested in a single. You boss a single, it shouldn't be more than 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Just
so I had to study, okay, so this is what these people are doing now. It's okay. Since this is what they are doing, the black man will try, but not compromise on the Blackky brand by still trying to make sure it is not about being a reigning artist. It's not about being a trending artist. It's about being an established artist. Music is a mission and no competition. The youths and the people playing music must overstand. We must be able to listen to Bob Marley, we must be able to listen to Fela and Nicola Kuti. And even though he's left us, his music lives with us. So we should be writing music that has a process that has the longevity for you to reason over it. And even if the artist is not present, you can still take that as part of your life and culture. So that's the way I write. Inspiration and what I feel. I noticed a lot of guys at the time when I wrote Bang Belly were denying pregnancies, right?
Yeah, true.
And then we have the DNA thing coming up now.
Yeah.
And I wrote that song in 2006 called Delilah. Okay. And that Delilah was actually saying, look, I was telling the men, be sure of who the children really are, of that woman, your wife. Be careful of whether those children are really yours. Likewise, the woman, be careful of how your man can betray you. So either way, you've got to be careful because right now the heart of man is desperately wicked. And so people to trust in these times is harder. And that's why I say a lot of men are not getting married as frequently, or even those who are getting married are getting divorced so soon. Many, not all. You know, so these are the things I write about. I write about what's happening in relationships, write about what's happening in the society, in the country, the leadership. Let us not call it anything yet, but the leadership. Fire burn. You know, the leadership can sometimes be very Babylonian, and so we have to write about it and then encourage those who are going through trials, because there's a lot of poverty, multidimensional poverty, and we've got to write about music that the people can be inspired by.
Okay, great. Now, well, before I go to the comments, there are lots of comments here. I'll just take. There are loads of comments. Yes, I remember that Blackky song you played. I was in primary school, and every end of year party we danced to that song like upcoming giants. Big ups to Blackky. I love you. It's Theophilus from Mushin.
Big up.
This one says, more fire.
Take life.
Man love for Blackky, yeah? Bless up every time. Okay, so if you were to endorse an artist, a Nigerian artist right now, who would you endorse? Right now?
I usually, without even having to think about it, them call him Burner. You know, I say this unapologetically. I've never met the young man before, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm one of the custodians of the Nigerian music that we're all calling Afrobeats today and everything. And one of the pioneers, the first artist to do the tape on bottle promo with Intercontinental Distillers. I don't want to call the brand name because, you know, so, but the first artist to have a tape being put on a bottle and marketed alongside with a coconut liquor. You know, and amongst so many other things like that. So I've set my pace in several ways that a lot of people have forgotten. But I also am a custodian to even the dancehall, African dancehall genre, because I'm only probably one of the few who's still trying my best to keep it real, even though I've not put out new material in years. And I've listened to a few of my junior colleagues. I'm inspired when I first hear them come out with the first track. After the second track, they lose drift and they start playing a totally different genre. Now, we're not saying that, look, dancehall is an African thing, but your influence and your African genre, the fusion of it, is what makes it unique. And so I've heard a lot of artists not having focus as to one genre they have a passion for, and then they can build, and look, I'm doing African dancehall, but if you listen to my vibe, you'll be hearing the beat so you can actually dance to it. So I don't need to switch to Akpala or Fuji because I'm trying to push my sound and get popular, or trying to hook up with an artist who is reigning so I can get followership. That's only temporal. You still will have to prove yourself as an artist. Now, I'm not seeing a lot of artists who their sound, they just are not sure. They just want to go for where they can get the number of streams. And after some time, it burns out if you're not careful. But with a burner, I've watched this boy multidimensionally. Watch him on stage. Listen to him a cappella. listen to his record. So I'm just saying this because and then listen to the performance, watch the performances, watch the act that he brings, watch the culture, watch his intros.
There's a whole story.
The whole thing is unique to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know him. I have never met him, but he rings a note in my ear when I listen to him. And I would say to anyone, if I had the opportunity, if I wanted to choose an artist, that the first choice I would want to burn some lyrics with, it would be that young man.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it would sound like?
Yeah.
Blackky and Burna Boy. It's going to be mad.
Yeah.
It's going to be mad.
And I'll be excited. Any other person, there might be a few others that I may love to work with, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in the artists that will give me the excitement.
True.
You see, I keep on telling people, they say, oh, Blackky, go back, go do the Rosie. Go and do it with this artist, go and do it with this artist. I'm not interested necessarily in, creating the buzz with maybe a trending, reigning artist.
Yeah.
Temporarily ride on that fame and go back to where I was. No, because I'm doing it for the mileage and the streaming. I'm not doing it because I want people to listen to me, but I'm trying to get the sales. I'm trying to push the record. I would love to do it with someone, and abroad, that's how it goes down. In most cases, not all, you get to do this with artists you love to work with. And you
are chemistry there.
Yes, you're trying to see how you can get the chemistry. Yeah. So if I talk about chemistry and trying to see, when I listen to his vibe and how he DJs, because he's DJed and now he's moved into African or street lingua in his DJing. So he doesn't sound so much as the Jamaicans or things. He's now Nigerianizing it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was promoting when I started, when I said, may ask her to dance and she give me issue. And in English, issue means no. I was introducing our own local street lingua into the music. I said, let's see how Nigerians will receive it without trying to sound foreign. So now he's taking it even further. Yeah. You hear him in Yoruba and you hear him those incantations. Those are the wonderful things. So Burna is it.
Wow.
For me, I mean, there's so many others that I respect. I love the movement, the way they're pushing the sound. The only thing I worry about is the longevity. How long will you keep that Afrobeat dream alive if you continue remaining monotonous?
Okay.
Straight on down the same line. But, so big up to all the Nigerian artists who are pushing the boundaries. But please, I beg of them, left out the drugs. Leave the drugs and focus on the music and let the music have soul so that it can outlive you.
All right. We'll talk about this. What we have now that's been celebrated. You say there's a risk of it just fading out.
Yeah, fading out.
What would you advise the gatekeepers of this culture? This is what you people introduced.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what would you?
We are traumatized by some of the things we see. We're excited about the Grammys. Yeah. In my lifetime, I'd never thought I would watch TV and watch a Nigerian artist pick up the Grammys. Yes, we've got the nominations, but so that's fantastic. But what like you asked, what frightens me about the sound, or what was your question again? What makes me?
What would you advise? How do we keep it alive?
Okay, to keep that sound alive.
Yeah.
Now, all I can say is that the only way to keep the sound alive is to remain original to yourself. One, the artist must be able, or hopefully be able, to get himself to be more involved in the creation of the music.
Okay.
Have a better idea. Not every artist is going to be a creator too, but be more involved in the music so that you identify with what you've put out. The chances are higher that you have a better chance of having that longevity than the content of the music, for God's sake. Here we're glorifying the use of all types of drugs now. So now you're listening. I thought I was bad. I got banned several times. So I'm not coming here to say I'm a saint. Yeah. I had songs that were NTBB'd. I had Sugar Stick. I had, a whole heap of songs like that. I got banned. You couldn't play them on radio. Yeah. But the fact is that I made sure that the songs that are fun songs are the ones that were frontline. Yeah? The ones you can secretly listen to. And that was another selling point of mine. Because so you have to have a balance. Yeah. So the artist, number one, the lyrical content. What are you saying? You're telling the youth who love you and look up to you to use different types of drugs in different ways. You're telling us of your lifestyle, of how you want to use these drugs, how you want to wrap it, how you give us the description. Yeah. So I am looking up to you. What am I going to be doing? By my third album, even though I had some X-rated songs, I realized the impact of music and I repented in a certain way because I now realized the power of what I had in my hands musically. I could change minds. I could destroy a whole generation. And that's why I plead with my junior colleagues. They should take that into consideration, what the youths are thinking. They're going to join them in the drug use. abuse, and then the lifestyle of smoking and drinking. Nobody says that so long as you don't do it excessively and you don't come out on social media showing us that this is the way to live, because everybody, so that the lyrical content. 2, the sound. For God's sake, we still have to try and build this out. Who would we look up to now if we didn't have a fella, the king of Afrobeat?
True.
He had a sound.
True.
So you have to hopefully try and get to a stage where you can have your own sound and then build on it. And don't rely too much on because once you just have a beat and you put your lyrics on, there's not much you may want to expect as you move forward. Supposing the beats are not that great when you're getting them, then what? Overstand?
True.
Overstand?
True. All right, before we go, just find what's happening to the women in music right now. We don't. They. I beg to say first of all, the female rappers all died out.
Okay.
You know, except for the likes of maybe Kel.
Kel. I love Kel. Yeah, I love Kel.
Big up, shout out to Kel.
Yeah, big up Kel. I think she's here on Sundays, right?
Yeah. So
big up.
There are quite a few of them. So what would you advise the female artists? What do you think about the female artists?
The female artists.
From your time compared to now.
One difference is that they will not be sleeping on the floor of the studio. So that's a big consolation for them. Those of us, and those of the female artists, and all our times, you spend that night in the session. You will sleep on that floor. Mosquitoes will definitely bite you. You will continue laying tracks. There was no cut and paste that time. So even if you want to say, can I have a dance? Rose. That rose, you will do the different parts. You will double it. There's no cut and paste. So they really did their time, starting from our days of Madam Onyeka Owenu to Chrissy Esenibokiwe. These are our elders in the game. To our modern ones of you give me Ikipami, you give me Esiagese, you know. You give me Ikipami. That era of Esiagese and a couple of other, a lot of them, a lot of female artists are not as prominent as now. Then are not as prominent now. Yeah. And I think now we even don't have too many. We have Tiwa, we have Yemi Alade,
and somebody that Cynthia Morgan.
Now that's an artist I took note of, and you know, and even her producer Tony Ross.
Tony Ross is my man.
Somebody that I'm keeping a close eye on. Yeah, that Ross guy. Once I heard, and I met him like last year, and I heard that he's worked with Cynthia Morgan. He did Cynthia Morgan sound. I said, good. Praise be to Jah that there's someone that wants to play dancehall, but they're not giving him the opportunity. You know, so I'm glad, and he's on my radar, Ross. But for Cynthia Morgan and the other artists, I think it's the industry. I don't call it, I call it the music scene, Nigerian music scene. If you notice, most of the record deals contracts seem to be outside the country.
True.
So how many of the artists really, how much of the income is even coming back to Nigeria? Like, you know, those who are the hip heads, you know, those who are in the game, to tell me how much of the money is really coming back to Nigeria, and how much of the structure is here in Nigeria. You know, so we have a problem with sustainability of the music, because there's still not much of a structure. There's a structure, but it's still far from being there. Yeah. So that doesn't help with the female artist that is doing, talk less of even the male artist. I can name a whole list of artists I came out with in the 90s. Yeah. And, you know, along the way, it's difficult to keep going. Yeah. It takes a lot of sacrifice, it takes a lot of focus to still stay in the game after so many years. So I can understand the industry does not support, because it's not that well structured. So for the female artist, that can be hard. And then, of course, the female artist is female, so everybody's looking for favors, and sexual favors come into the matter. Some artists will tell you, I didn't do this, and that's why I didn't get here. So that's also a problem. The harassment, sexual harassment, and then, of course, the music. The music itself, the people have got to love it. Yeah. And so they help in a way to sustain it. Yeah. I probably would have just packed up years ago if I didn't get the shout outs on radio, or I didn't get the shout outs on social media and from all the fans. That gives me that buzz to keep going. Yeah. So those are the few things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wow, we're out of time. And I had so much more to talk about. We're going to do this next time, okay?
Thanks for watching. Like and hit the subscribe button for more videos. Also check out our latest videos on the Classic FM 97.3, because we are the station that plays every song you know.